Welcome back. Sam Altman taking the stand for the first time today in his trial versus Elon Musk. Kate Rooney is at the courthouse with the details in today's Tech Check. Kate.
Hi, Kelly. So Sam Altman is in the courthouse behind me. He is testifying as we speak and is talking about Elon Musk wanting absolute control of OpenAI, pushing back on the narrative that we've heard over the past couple of weeks that OpenAI deceived Elon Musk. According to Altman on the stand today, Musk thought the AI lab would fail. Quote, lost confidence. He said that Musk did not believe we were going to be successful. So there was a 0% chance of OpenAI actually succeeding. And then Elon Musk left the board. Second and related, according to Altman, he said that Musk wanted to start a new AI effort over Tesla and then didn't want to be conflicted in that, talking about the reason why Musk left the board. Altman is also testifying that merging OpenAI with Tesla actually came up multiple times over the years, and then it's come down to Musk's attempt to control the company. That has been a central theme for the defense. And Altman today, he said that Musk wanted 90% of OpenAI's equity at one point. He said that softened, but it was always a majority. And then Altman went on to talk about him being extremely uncomfortable, in his words, with all of those attempts by Musk, shared what he called a hair-raising anecdote, Kelly, where he talked about control of OpenAI, what would happen if he passed away? And then he said, I hadn't really thought about it. I think I would pass it on to my children. That was one anecdote we got. Altman also said that it was a morale boost when Musk actually left eventually, that he would use stack ranking for employees, and then that demotivated some of the key talent. Quote, I don't think Mr. Musk, as Altman's calling him in there, understood how to run a good research lab. He did also discuss some fears that Musk would bash OpenAI on Twitter, as we have seen play out in the recent years. And then Altman did reiterate this larger point that we have heard from the defense so far, that Musk wanted this to be a for-profit. Control, they say, was the actual issue. It wasn't about mission creep, and then Musk is now, they say, trying to derail OpenAI as he builds a competitor, of course, xAI. Musk, on the other side, is suing OpenAI on grounds that he was deceived, and then Altman helped steal a charity, in his words. OpenAI denies that. Kelly, back over to you.
How much more will we hear from Altman, and then when do we think we'll hear from Musk?
So we expect cross-examination. He's still getting basically interviewed by his lawyers, and so that tends to be kind of a friendlier vibe. And then we will get cross-examination, which tends to be a little bit more confrontational and tense. And then Musk we actually got in week one. So we have heard Musk's side of it, which, talk about confrontational. He really went back and forth with the defense attorneys. And his side of the story was basically, it was a nonprofit. It's now an $850 billion company. That's not fair. They stole a charity. And we have heard a completely opposite tone and side of the story for OpenAI. Really, Altman up there is saying it's still a mission-driven company. We just needed to raise money because of compute. That is such a big topic that we still talk about daily in terms of how expensive these models are to run. That has been their justification for needing to be a for-profit.
All right.